Foundation Course Kabbalah, Part 2, Lesson 28. Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The lesson begins with Michael asking, "Does anyone have a question?" But the question has to be about the inner. If you have sinned, remember it very well and carve it within you. Don't have a feeling of guilt about something or someone. Guilt is something that has been imposed on us by history and religion, while it's not in the program or instruction from above. So absolutely don't have a feeling of guilt about anything. Even though you committed a great sin, if you commit a sin and apologize to someone, then you are dealing with your self-love. Your self-love will whisper in your ear to apologize, and when you apologize, only your self-love will feel better. Or you confess to someone. Doesn't matter. You try everything to psychologically feel better. But this is not the right way of growing. You don't accomplish anything by doing this. What you need to do is have regret. This is totally different than saying sorry to someone. You need to have regret, in the sense of that you were wrong, and you mark it within you. So next time, you won't do it again. However, should you be aware that due to this shortage has been created, but this has to be a flash, a deep flash of regret, your own regret that you missed a chance to correct your life. And then you move forward, just a quick flash, and then return to the reality of now. But never have a feeling of guilt, because you will only waste your own time. Even the best religious feeling of guilt will only prevent you from your spiritual work and from the instruction of the Creator Himself. Also, through the eyes of the Eternal, you are being childish when you have a feeling of guilt, even about things that you did in the past, or the things a nation did to another nation. Of course, it has to be judged according to the laws of this world, but from within there should be no guilt or pointing fingers whatsoever. Why? It's your ego that whispers to go and ask someone forgiveness. Instead of just working on yourself, you go and blame someone else. Those Germans or Spaniards. If you blame someone, then you're running away from your own personal work, from your own reality, from now. You run away from your connection, from your correction. If you have stepped on someone's toes, then of course you need to apologize. But don't take inner advantage of it. The intention is important, and it has to be structural. What does it mean to apologize? We're consciously working on ourselves. Imagine you hurt someone's feelings a few years ago, but back then you didn't understand your shortcoming. However, now you have changed, and you do understand what you did wrong. Do you have to be sorry about what you did back then? Absolutely not. You were another person back then. Will it help me if I say sorry? No. You would only be working for your ego. It will say, apologize for what you have done. But you don't have to do this. It's structural. You will feel more comfortable, but it won't help you as a person. So be very careful about having a feeling of guilt. Be very careful. A person is full of guilt. This has been ingrained by church, religion, doesn't matter by who, for hundreds, if not thousands of years, because it was necessary. But not anymore. Now, it's time to work on ourselves on a personal level. Everything is within us, and from outside we experience incentives. So from within, we have to respond adequately. It's all about the work you do, the interaction between the inner and the outer. We try to react adequately based on the 5 eternal questions and answers. Even the whispers of your ego are constructive. Try to see this as a constructive way of growing, and don't get caught in its snares. The 5 questions and answers are only meant as an aid. Of course, it goes much deeper than this. It's all about setting a basis to help you come in accordance with the laws of the universe. Every day you have to work on yourself. When I get up in the morning, about who do I think? the only creative power who always lives and is the source of life. I try to acquire his laws, react adequately on the regulations, and fulfill them. The entire day, also in the evening, but at night it's not possible. In my dreams, I don't have control of myself. So most importantly, one has to fulfill the regulations to connect himself with the eternal life. Everything you do, even washing your hands, do it consciously and try to connect yourself with that place within you, to come in contact with the eternal. Everything is correction. With everything you do, try to connect yourself with your inner through your actions. You can get in touch with the internal source. There are regulations on all levels. On the level of Asiya, Yetzirah, Bria, and Atzilut. By fulfilling regulations with hands and feet, you do corrections on the level of Asiya. Every action, physical action, is a correction in the world of Asiya. Therefore, when you pronounce a blessing, blessed are you. Through this, you at first fulfill the physical regulation, and only afterwards you can go higher with the speech. This way you gradually go higher and higher, and are also able to do higher corrections, from Asiya to above. Step by step you go above, again and again. All the work you do with hands and feet, and the inner gratitude you say to the only creating power, brings you above. You will feel that, absolutely. The lower will continue to exist, but the quality will change. Your inner will go up. The flesh will be filled with the sparks of holiness. Step by step you move up. All the sparks go up, and you arrive at Atzilut. This is called service, saying a prayer. If we say a prayer, we can experience Atzilut, the highest what a person can experience, being the Son of God. This means you have risen from within, but your flesh stays below. Your flesh doesn't irritate you anymore. It doesn't stimulate you at that moment because all the sparks went up. You still feel your flesh, but it stayed below. You experience a feeling of liberation. And then, what happens after Atzilut? We go up by making an effort, and we go down with blessings. After Atzilut, your pockets are filled with the holy sparks, and you descend to Bria, and you bring the holy sparks to Bria, and after that you go down to Yetzirah, Asiya, and back to our world. You bring the light to our world. Through every prayer you receive light or nourishment. By day you receive Hesed, mercy, regardless where you are. When the sun goes up, the power of Hesed rules the world. But when it's dark, or when it gets dark, the power of Gura takes over, the dark power, a power that is heavy. Therefore, it's also important to say prayers at night. Everything is structural and not cultural. It's your inner work and personal correction. If you pull the lights down by day, then you receive the power of mercy, Hesed. In the morning, the power of Abraham is active, mercy, Hesed. From 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the power of Yitzchak starts to take over, Din, strictness, Guvara, and in the evening, the power of Yaakov rules strictness. Therefore, the morning is so important because there is mercy in the morning. From 1 o'clock at night, another power rules, which is also mercy. The day can be divided into 4 powers. Every power is active for 6 hours. Abraham, Yaakov, Yitzchak, and another power. What does it mean to say a prayer? It means that you bring yourself in accordance with the laws of the universe, by which you rise to Atzilut. Everyone will experience this. If you say a prayer with the right intention, you will experience Atzilut. The light of Atzilut will shine in you. All the blessings come from Atzilut. The wisdom comes from Chokmah. Everything is spiritual. Everything you do, all the work with hands and feet, is also part of the spiritual. The intention, the kavanah, the prayer to the holy, to the only creating power, is the inner work you do, and this is correction, making an effort for the only creating power. Constantly try to be in accordance with the only creating power, with the eternal source of life. Your corrections are important, not only for yourself, because within yourself you bring the holy sparks up and take them back down. This means purifying yourself and passing it on to others. Everything is spiritual not because you do things because you are told to do so. Instead, you have started feeling. You need to have the right intention. Your intention needs to be for the source of life, the eternal source of life. This should be your prayer and correction. This means filling your inner with holy sparks. What is the right intention and what is a prayer exactly? What does everything mean? These are things you will gradually learn and experience. Now we only talk about it without you experiencing it. But this is also necessary to make openings inside you so later on you can start feeling and experiencing. I will tell you a story about a young shepherd who lived amongst Kabbalists, the greatest Kabbalists from his time, and sometimes he overheard their conversations. While he didn't understand anything and was only a shepherd, he didn't know anything about intention or prayer. A special day came when the ark in which the Torah lies had to be opened. This is done at the end of the day because this is the last chance one can ask for the kindness of the Creator. This is the most important moment of the day to ask and receive the kindness of the Creator. It's a very special moment, and everyone fears this moment. Even the greatest villain fears the holy, fears this moment. And their leader, Baal Shem Tov, was not able to proceed and open the ark. Why not? The atmosphere was not optimal. He didn't feel that the right moment had come to ask for the kindness of the Creator, to pronounce the prayer both personally and in general. Everyone was praying, but it was still not the right moment. Baal Shem Tov was a great Kabbalist, and suddenly the shepherd, the boy, felt the tension. He wanted to pray, but he couldn't. He was illiterate. He didn't know how. No one ever taught him how to pray. He couldn't read, but he felt the tension, and suddenly the spiritual feeling inside him exploded, because every Jew has a holy spark within him through which he can come face to face with the Creator. But the boy couldn't pronounce his feeling, and he put his 4 fingers in his mouth and loudly blew a whistle. Baal Shem Tov looked at him and said, "It's the right moment to open the ark, because this is the perfect time to ask for the kindness of the Creator." Why? The boy had the right intention, while the others were great rabbis, but none of them were able to break through their self-love. And this is what the Creator wants from us. All the knowledge is worth nothing if you don't have the right intention. The intention to clean, purify yourself, that's the right way. The intention is more important than the rest. There is another story about Baal Shem Tov. A Jew approached him and asked him, "Rabbi, I would like to pray, but I don't know how." It was on the eve of a Jewish holiday, and Rabbi Baal Shem Tov answered, "You know the Hebrew alphabet, right? And the first 2 letters of the alphabet are Aleph and Bet." The man nodded, and Baal Shem Tov continued. "Then you have to do the following. You have to search for the right intention, and you have to pronounce every letter one by one, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, until Tav. Pronounce the letters one by one, and afterwards ask the Creator, 'Creator, you know all the prayers we pronounce for you. I don't know them. I am giving you all the letters, the entire alphabet. Could you please order them in words and sentences for me? You know how it goes. You know every prayer. It's for you. I will say the prayer with my heart, and you make the prayer.'" This is another way of saying a prayer, because reciting prayers the entire day without having the right intention won't help. Same thing for learning Kabbalah. You need to have the right intention, not wanting to understand, but to bring yourself in accordance with the laws of the universe. We have already said that there are 3 receipts. The first receipt is Galgalta. The second receipt is less powerful and is called Ab. And the third receipt is even lower and called Sag. Sag is already Or Hasidim, the light of mercy. And as you know, the light of mercy can shine and go through everything. We have said that this line shows the line in the picture, is the tabur, or the navel. just like our navel, which is located in the middle part of our body. At first, the light of Galgalta comes till the tabur. Please see the picture at the end of this lesson. But it bounces back, and then the light Ab goes down. Ab does not pass the tabur as well, but its light is different than the light of Galgalta. Just like cylinders, the one inside the other, or like coverings. Ab covers Galgalta and Sag covers both. What does it mean to cover? Partsufim. Receiving light, just like here, is called partsufim. A partsuf has 10 sfirot. And every next partsuf, every next receipt of light is less powerful than the previous one. The next covering always starts from the shoulders, just like the fountain principle, gradually less and less. So at first the light Galgalta, or the light of Keter, was received. Secondly, Ab, or the light of Chokhmah. And then Sag, the light of Bina. Bina is the light of mercy, and below the tabur there was no power to receive the light. The light was only received above the tabur. And as we have said already, the light of mercy can go through everything. There is no restriction on the light of mercy, and thus it can also go below the tabur. Sag is Bina, and we have already said that there are 5 powers: Keter, Chokhmah, Bina, Ze'ah, and Malchut. And Bina has the power. The essence of her power is pass the light on to Ze'ah and Malchut, or her children. Half of Bina belongs to the above 3, Keter, Chokhmah, and the part above Bina. And the below part of Bina gives to Ze'ah and Malchut. The nature of Bina is to give to Ze'ah and Malchut. And Ze'ah and Malchut are situated below the tabur. The line represents the tabur. Keter, Chokhmah, Bina. Then the line. These 3 are above the tabur. It's the same concerning the distribution of light. Below the tabur there is shortage. Till the tabur the light can be received. But below the tabur there is shortage. The light does not go there. So we have above the tabur light. Below the tabur there is no light. And no light means shortage. And of course the point of the creation is to receive the light in its entire glory. So we are now learning how the only creating power, how he created the powers until it reaches mankind. So Sag descended, and below we have Ze'ah and Malchut, below the tabur. And now something happened. At first you had the first receipt, the second receipt, until now everything was normal. But then something happened that changed everything. The entire point is to also receive the light below the tabur, because everything has to receive light. It doesn't matter if the light becomes less powerful below. It's less powerful, but nonetheless light is received. It's the same with saying prayers. One receives from very far, while the other is much closer. Nonetheless, they both receive from Atzilut, the same light, but in different gradations. So below the tabur, there was absolutely no light. The Ze'ah and Malchut are longing for light, but they don't have power to receive it. In our world, it's different. If I don't have the power to do it, then I can find another way. But in the laws of the universe, this is not possible. In the laws of the universe, everything is altruistic, meaning I can only receive if I have the power. Otherwise, it's not possible. In our world, it is different. If I don't have the power to earn more money, then I can, for example, rob a bank. Therefore, if we adapt ourselves to the laws of the universe, we will only receive that which belongs to us, qua powers, and we will stay in balance. So below the tabur, you have powers that can't reach the light above. During the first receipt, the wishes below Galgalta were now able to receive the light. So the wishes below the first receipt are now longing for the light, and therefore a second receipt had to come, a less powerful receipt, just like the principle of the fountain. And then another third receipt called Sag, Chasadim. And now it's important to understand the aspect of coverings. Just like lampshades, one lampshade covers the other. The second lampshade makes the light weaker. It's the same here. Galgalta has the strongest light, and its light gets covered, then third covering, just like several shades covering the light of a lamp. What does it mean to comprehend something? To comprehend means covering a certain part. How does it work? We have said that Sag covers Ab. Does it actually mean that Sag covers Ab from head till its feet? No. Sag cannot comprehend the head of Ab, just like a mother who talks with her children. She uses child language to communicate with her children because this is what her children understand. Her children only reach their mother till the shoulders, but they can't comprehend her head. That's too high for them. It's the same thing when comprehending wisdom, eternal wisdom and light. We are doing the same with a prayer. When you pronounce a part of a prayer that is, for example, connected to the lower part of Yetzirah, and if you have the right intention, then you can cover the lower part of Yetzirah. It's the same with Sag. It comes till below the tabur, and below the tabur there are very heavy and strong wishes from Ze'ah and Malchut. But these heavy wishes of Ze'ah and Malchut are from Galgalta, and the light of Sag is much weaker than Galgalta. It's the light of mercy which is much weaker than the light of Galgalta. The wishes of Galgalta feel the shortage the most in comparison with the shortage of Sag. For example, when a millionaire goes bankrupt or a regular employee loses his job, who do you think will feel shortage the most? The millionaire who lost his Rolls Royce, of course. It's the same here. Galgalta was much stronger than Sag, and the wishes below Galgalta have a stronger shortage. They have the wish to receive the light of Galgalta because wish means having a shortage. They want the light of Galgalta because they are on the same level, and Bina has the intention to fill the shortage of Ze'ah and Malchut. So look at it this way. If we're on the same level, then we have the same radiation, yes or no? You have a lampshade. You have a lamp and a shade. The shade is on the outside and the lamp is inside. The shade covers a lamp. They have both the same light. The one shines from within and the other shines outside through the shade. Their light is coarsened, but it's the same light, only the experience is different. Through the shade, the light is experienced a bit weaker, but it's the same light. It's the same in the spiritual. If they are on the same level, then they have a certain relationship or connection, qualities. If two objects are on the same spiritual level, then they have a certain relationship. The same goes for two people who have similar spiritual qualities. It doesn't matter if one person lives in America and the other one in Europe. The distance is not important. Spiritually, they are on the same level, and this unites them. It's the same here. Sag went down below the tabur to give to Ze'ah and Malchut. Galgalta is the inner light, and Ab covers Galgalta, and Sag covers them both. So Sag went down to the lower part of Bina, that is, below the tabur, to fill the shortage. It's not the same as Galgalta, but it's better than nothing for Ze'ah and Malchut. Ze'ah and Malchut long for the light of Bina, even though they want to receive a more powerful light. But because they very low wishes below are so strong, they want to use the light improperly. Therefore, something had to happen so the light would not be corrupted. So the power of Sag went down the tabur where the unfulfilled wishes are located. The bigger the shortage, the stronger the light needs to be. The light of Bina almost descended to the point of our world, but the Malchut put a limit to the light, so it would not be received entirely. The lower the wishes, the more heavy they are, and the Malchut made a restriction, so the light wouldn't be received improperly. The spiritual cannot be corrupt. It can't receive more than it's capable of receiving. During the first receipt of Galgalta, it only went to the tabur, not lower. Of course, below they wanted to fully receive the light of Galgalta, but there was no power, so it did not go lower than the tabur. However, the wish to receive the light was still there, and the spiritual, they will do everything that's in their power and for the Creator to pass the light to the lower wishes, but in a way that is kosher, not in an egotistical way, but a pure receipt. We will learn more about this principle because this principle applies everywhere. So the light of Sag went below the tabur, and the lower part of Sag is called Nekodot de Sag, or the points of Sag. And to prevent the light going all the way down, the Malchut went up and said, "Till here and not further." What does this mean? At first, there was absolutely no light because of tabur, but now, due to the Sag, a bit of light was given below the tabur. Sag wanted to give light to Ze'ah and Malchut, but they didn't have the power to fully receive it. Imagine they would fully receive the light till the point of our world, then our work here would be done. The creation will be fulfilled and come to an end. Then why did the Malchut restrict the light? Because we are not able to receive this light. It is still too thin and needs more coarsening. More development was needed for us to receive the light properly. It's like a placenta in the atmosphere. So what did Sag achieve? The light of Hasidim went down, and the new line was drawn below the tabur, because the light was not allowed to go lower. For the first time, the light of Hasidim, Bina went down below the tabur, and Malchut went up to prevent the light going too low. So what happened? We are now able to receive the light from below the tabur till the new line that was drawn by Malchut. For the first time, a new line was drawn, and we can receive the light of Sag here, but there is no power to receive or Chochmah yet, like Ab or Galgalta. The new line that was drawn is called Parsa, where later the world Atzilut will be created. From Atzilut, all the power of life can be received. And below the Parsa, the three other worlds will be created: Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Below everything, our world is located. 4 worlds: Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. These 4 worlds can be explained by us. Well, Atzilut not entirely. Only the lower half of Atzilut. Then you have Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Below these worlds, mankind was created, and we fell even lower after our sins, but we will learn how we can get up again. Please refer to drawing 28, where it shows the Galgalta, Keter, Ab, Chochmah, and Sag, 3 Partsuf, and refer to the material, the place of the world, Bria, place of the world, Yetzirah, place of the world, Asiyah, in the drawing, in the written materials.